Welcome to Elevate Your Mind, your number one podcast for peak performance strategies that will enhance your mindset, develop your emotional skill set, and maybe, just maybe, be the catalyst to create positive forward momentum in your life. Here's what's to come from today's pod.
Adults are just big kids emotionally. Adults are just big kids emotionally. We are wired the exact same way. You have emotional needs that you must fulfill, and you will do whatever you can to fulfill them. Boom, and we are live with another Elevate Your Mind, another amazing episode coming your way. Today is all around reassurance seeking. Now, so many of you listening to this will be the reassurance seekers out there. You'll be the people who are craving that reassurance. You're craving that support, that help, that guidance, that when I start to feel anxious or worried or doubtful or fretful, I need that someone or something to make sure I'm okay, to give me those kind words of wisdom, that when I speak to my husband, when I speak to my wife, when I speak to my mum, my dad, when that person, when I hear that podcast, I start to feel better. Well, today is the trap of reassurance seeking. That's why it's in the title, because you see, it can be a trap, reassurance seeking, especially when it comes to these limiting emotions, these limiting traits that you're experiencing. The trap is one that many find themselves in, and they don't recognize that they're in this trap. But the lack of recognition in this trap is what keeps them doomed, is what keeps them caged, is where mentally, Matt, I'm trying everything to break out of this, but emotionally, it's like a double-edged sword. They're tying themselves to this trait for long enough. So, for too long, I should say. So on this particular episode, we're going to deep dive into it. So if this is your first time listening, welcome to the podcast. Whether you're with me on Spotify, whether you are with me on YouTube here, please please subscribe to the channel. I've got many more things that are coming your way over these next couple of weeks. And, well, you want to be tuned for it, if I'm honest with you, because it's really exciting and it's going to benefit you loads. But let's get to today. Reassurance seeking. So you see, here's the thing. We all, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Donald Duck or Donald Trump. You are going to want, on some form of level, reassurance within who you are. You want reassurance within yourself. You want reassurance from others. You want to essentially feel safe, secure, and I'll say the word again, reassured. You want to feel supported. Now, in an ideal world, we are going to do this to ourselves. This is everything that I'm about. Everything I'm about is about showing you how to be that source of reassurance and support and safety and security in your own life. Because if you can be that for yourself, then, well, quite frankly, you hold the keys to every single emotion you want to experience. Every single emotion. But I think we would all be lying if we said it isn't nice from time to time. If that someone or that something or that person, they give us some nice words of support, of encouragement, of reassurance. The big issue comes from when this becomes a dependency in our lives. And if you are dependent on someone or something reassuring you when you are struggling with a certain emotion or feeling or whatever it may be, you are trapping yourself to stay caged with this feeling. And this is ultimately a big part that we must, not would be nice, but we must break out of. If you are dependent on someone or something to be your source of reassurance for yourself, you are trapping yourself to stay caged with this feeling, this emotion, whatever it is that you want to break out of. And let me explain why. Let me strip this down very simply. For those of you who are parents here, when you are dealing with your child, and if you're not a parent here, you can still know this same analogy I'm about to give, and your baby is maybe a month, a year, 2 years old. If they don't get your attention through doing something good, what will they do? Do something bad. And when they do something bad, what happens? Is they grab your attention. Stop that. No, you can't do that. No, behave properly. Whatever it is that you say as a parent. And so in that moment, what your child learns mentally is that, okay, I shouldn't do that thing. What they learn emotionally, hear me on this, which is a different part of your brain, is when I kick off, when I fart or kick or scream or punch, I get the attention from mum or dad. So what happens? A week later, they're doing something good in a different area of their life. You're just, oh, they seem happy over there, let them carry on. Then all of a sudden they want some attention, so they start kicking, screaming, farting, punching again, and then you go to them. Emotionally, what that child learns is when I fart and kick and scream and punch, mum or dad always comes to me. I always get the reassurance, the loves, the support, the attention that I crave. Write this down. Adults are just big kids emotionally. Adults are just big kids emotionally. We are wired the exact same way. You have emotional needs that you must fulfill, and you will do whatever you can to fulfill them. And when you seek reassurance, what I'm about to go into here, you do exactly that thing. Because you see, here's the thing. You don't seek reassurance when you're feeling confident, upbeat, passionate, purposeful, driven and excited, do you? No. When do you seek reassurance? When you feel low, when you feel down, when you feel anxious, worried, fretful, doubtful, whatever it may be. Mentally, what you learn is, I don't want to feel this way, I need to get out of it. Every time you get reassurance from your partner, your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, whoever it may be, what you learn emotionally is, when I am in that state, I am being rewarded with reassurance, which is what I crave on a deeper level. This is so fundamental here, guys. Stay locked in with me, because if you can understand this, you will be at the key foundation of what you can set yourself free from emotionally. Like your child, they learn emotionally that when I fart and kick and scream and punch, I get what I want. What we learn as adults emotionally is, when I'm in this anxious state, my partner, my mum, my dad, they give me the reassurance that I crave. They give me the reassurance that I want underneath. The safety, the support, the kindness, the care, the love, the attention, whatever it may be. Now, this is where we get into a battle with ourselves, because mentally we're going, no, Matt, but I really don't want to feel like this. But emotionally, it's drawing us back in. I say this all the time. We have two parts of our mind, the conscious thinking part and the emotional part of your mind. The emotional part drives and will override you consciously. This is why that's where we want to delve into. This is where we need the real fundamental parts of this. The passion in my voice right now is because hopefully you can feel this, because it is so important. I did this in my life for years. Always I would have a problem. Why would I always have a problem? Because if I have a problem, there's always going to be someone or something there to reassure me and make sure I'm okay. So I'm always going to feel like I've got someone or something there to be around me. I learned this emotionally. Now this is what I teach my clients, because that keeps me caged. Always had a problem. Could never overcome it. Could never, oh God, I'm not sure if I can do it on my own. Oh, maybe I need support. Maybe I need help. Oh, can you tell me this thing? Am I going to be okay? Oh, but I don't want to feel like this. But I do. But I do. Not consciously, emotionally. This is what I crave. And what we learn emotionally is that when I'm in that anxious, low, fretful, worried state, every single time, my first point of call is to go to husband or wife or mum or dad. What I learn emotionally is that I can always get that love, support, reassurance that I crave, that we all crave on some level, when I am in this state. The same way your 2-month-old baby does. Mad, isn't it? Mad to think how much we can learn from those little so-and-sos. Kids, beg your pardon, kids are the best teachers. Kids are the best teachers. You want to learn anything about psychology and human emotion? Study your kids. They will be the greatest teachers you will ever see. Because this comes in before they come in with all the limiting beliefs and this and that and the ifs, the buts, the maybes. Children are just the purest form. And they teach us so much. And most adults, we're just big kids emotionally. We all are. We all want love. We all want support. We all want recognition. We all want reassurance. My question to you is this: how are you getting it in your life? Let me ask you now. It's a slightly different question. Think of this. Who do you go to for reassurance? And say it to the screen, say it to your earpods. If you're on a train or driving somewhere, just whisper it to yourself. Who do you go to for reassurance? Is it a parent? Is it a partner? Is it a friend? Is it a pet? Who do you go to? Right. Now let me ask you this. When do you go to them? Do you go to them when you're out with your friends having the best time ever and you feel like, you know what, I'm just completely present, enjoying a good time with my friends? Is that when you go to them? Or do you go to them when you feel down and low and sad and depressed and upset or whatever it may be? Now let me ask you a second question, or third question, I beg your pardon. When you're not in that state of anxiousness, of worry, how much reassurance do you get on a day-to-day basis from this person or this something or someone? How much love, support, reassurance, connection do you get on a day-to-day basis? How much passion, how much intimacy, how much love do you have in your close relationship with your significant other? Because you see, if you enhance that third question there, if you enhance the fact that you said with your significant other, with your parent, whoever it may be, that you know what, I want all the reassurance, all the support, all the love, all the connection with you that is possible in my life. I want all of that, but I only want it when I'm feeling good, or when I'm, a different way of putting that is when I'm not in that anxious state. That's when you can give it to me. That is when you can give me all of the love, all of the support, all of the connection, all of the reassurance when I'm not in that anxious state. When I'm in that anxious state, do not give it to me. Do not give it to me. Some of us are behind the screen like, but Matt, but when I'm in that anxious state, that's when I need it most. That's what's keeping you caged. Because what you crave underneath is the emotional support, the emotional reassurance, the emotional safety and security. But what we need to learn emotionally, and I understand that this is a podcast episode and this is where I take my clients through on programs and with experiences of when I work with them, of how to reassure yourself on a deep emotional level. And that when we also understand, we create the passion, the purpose, the love, the connection, the reassurance with those people around us, so they overflow us. We're not going around like Oliver Twist, like, please can I have some reassurance, please can I have some more? No, we fill up our own pint glass, so to speak, and then allow partners and mums and dads and whoever else there is to overflow with reassurance. Because if I'm in that stuck state of anxiousness, worry, fear and doubt, if I'm in that stuck state, constantly seeking reassurance there, I'm constantly reinforcing the fact that that's where I'm going to stay. What we need to learn is how to fill our own pint glass and then create all of the passion, the purpose, the reassurance, the support when I'm not in that state. Because then I'll be dealing with it at source. At source. I always have to be careful with the way I say source, because I say if I'm from Essex, where I'm from in England, I've got some listeners from overseas here. Essex is just outside of London in England. I'd say sauce. If I said sauce, people think, the ketchup and mustard's coming out. Source. We want to deal with it at source. Think of it like this. You are at position A. And for those of you on screen with me here, you'll see this. You are at position A. What you crave is C over here. And C is the reassurance, the support, the love and the connection. What we do is we meet at point B. Because what I learn emotionally is that when I produce this trait, my reassurance always comes. Why? Because we've got loving parents, we've got loving partners, and they're never going to leave you in that place. They're never going to leave you in that place. The same way that your kids know that you're never going to leave them when they're really, really crying because you're a wonderful parent to them. I told you, kids are the best teachers. So you see, what we learn emotionally is that every time I produce this trait, I'm going to always be reassured. So why would I want to get rid of it? Especially if I'm not creating the purpose, the passion, the love, the excitement in my normal state. Because if I created all of it in my normal state, if I'm at position A, I can just get what I need in from C, and I don't need to create B to get what I crave on a deeper emotional level. I told you, when it comes to this notion of human emotion, I show you things that you have never seen before, and I'll help you get results you have never got before, because therapy and counselling, they don't show you what I show you on this level. I'm not saying that with some sort of ego or bravado, but I know what they teach because I've been there, I've done it. I know many people in these areas. It's all coping, it's all managing. When you deal with this at the source, deep human emotion, you understand that all traits that we use, anxious, worry, fear, doubt, are only a way to meet these deeper emotional needs. And I'm showing you here exactly that when you have a need to feel reassured, this is why you produce this trait of anxiety in these situations, or fear or worry or doubt. It's because you know that on a deeper emotional level, you're going to be reassured in this state. And that's where the double-edged sword comes in, because mentally it feels like crap, but emotionally it serves the purpose. What we need to do is eradicate the fact that when we're in that state, the first point of call is that we go for reassurance. Look, let's be clear here so there's no grey areas. I'm not saying that no one's ever there for you again. I'm not saying you're on your own. I'm not saying deal with this on your own. Look, I provide a platform here that I'm constantly there for people, constantly want to support, constantly want to help. I've got many different ways in which I do that. But what I am saying is be your own point of call first. Don't rely on someone or something to be the first point of call. We all face challenging times where we need that support, we need that help, we need that guidance. I'm no different to that. Why do I do what I do? To be that for you as well, if you need that in your life. But what I also teach people very early on in working with me is that I don't want to be in the driving seat of the reassurance for you. I want you to be in the driving seat, and I'll happily assist from the passenger seat or the boot. Gaffer taped, maybe. So, you see, this whole episode is really, really focused around thinking, how do I currently get reassurance in my life? And really think about it. An exploratory thought process here, and what you'll find is, you know what, yeah, whenever I feel low, whenever I feel down, which is all the time, I'm always wanting reassurance. Well, more so than anything, what that shows you then is you crave it so deeply that you go to that state so often because it's what you crave at a deeper level. Well, how can you create reassurance and love and support? One, for yourself in a more empowering way, and two, with the person who you get reassurance from. How can you create that in a more empowering way? If it was your mum, you know, every time I go out with my mum, you know, I feel myself getting anxious and she always supports me. Okay, cool. Well, what's a better way that I can go out with mum and talk about things that are as purposeful, as passionate, as exciting, as loving, as connecting, that make us both feel so vibrant and close and connected, like a mum and daughter or mum and son relationship should be, that it feels so much more lovelier, that I don't need to bring up this trait over here. And the only reason we're producing this trait and doing this trait is to get the reassurance. Get it in a better way. You don't need me to confirm that that's what you deserve. You know you deserve that. You know that you deserve to feel all of the love, all the connection, all the reassurance that you want. So go and create it in that way. Go and create it. Because let me bring this full circle for you. When your child is there and they're farting and kicking and screaming and punching, and they know you're going to go to them all the time, eventually, what do we say? No. If you're going to behave like that, then you're not going to get what you want. No. If you want X, then ask me in this way and you can have what you want. Because what you're teaching them is that they're at position A, they are using B to get C, and you're just saying, no, B's not appropriate, so go from A to C. And guess what? then they ask you nicely, Mama or Dad, I want this, or whatever else it may be, and then you go, yes, no worries. Then they learn emotionally, I don't need to use that trait to get what I need anymore. No different for us as adults. No different. Adults are just big kids emotionally. Simples. The simple question that you need to be honest and transparent with yourself about is, how are you getting that reassurance? How are you getting that safety, that security, that connection in that way? Because if you're using B to get C, then you're going to find yourself getting frustrated, annoyed, because there's going to be this battle going on in your mind that mentally I want to move past it, but emotionally it's the only way I'm creating it. And as I say, if you want further assistance with this, then by all means, let me know. This is a huge part of when someone works with me on a program. This is what we do. I show people how to emotionally fill their own pint glass, make themselves feel so reassured, so in control, so purposeful and connected within themselves, that then the husbands, the wives, the mums, the dads, whoever else there are on the world, they can overflow us, not fill it up, not create a dependency. And so if you'd like further assistance with that, if you'd like further understanding, although I don't think understanding is more of what you probably need after this episode, it's more an exploratory thought process and an implementation of this, then let me know. Let me know. I have a wonderful, wonderful program that I'm doing for the last time before summer, starting on Wednesday the 14th of May. Literally, we are a few days away now. If you want to know more, if you want to nab a spot, if you want to get this sorted for yourself, and it's been long enough and you've been dealing with these traits and you don't want to spend time, doing this yourself and trying to piece this together, and you want a weeks long process, this program with me is 8 to 12 weeks long. You want to join that, by all means, drop me a message. You know where to find me, and I can share more information with you. But my biggest recommendation from you from right now is this. Look at yourself, look at your situation and go, how do I create the reassurance in my life? And then how's a better way I can get that? If it's with my partner, do you know what? I'm not saying I'm on my own here. I need to find the best ways, the best strategies to make myself feel more reassured, but I'm going to focus on getting reassurance from my partner when I feel more happy, more vibrant, more connected, more loved. Because very quickly what you're going to learn is that, I can get what I crave in this state up here. I don't have to produce this trait down here to have to get it. Got it? Got it. And as always, you know where I am. I don't like to make these episodes long because I want these to be actionable. And I say this pretty much every time. Don't let this be a nice listen, guys. Action it. Action it. If you want to know more, message me. If you want to understand a little bit further, drop me a line. If you want to action something and trial it and come back to me, let me know. If you want to know more about that program, drop me in. But action this. Otherwise, you're going to listen to this and it's going to fade away, and then you're going to be 3-4 months time of still consuming my content, find yourself in the same place and go, oh yeah, that does make sense. But action is your gateway to freedom here. Go and do it. Guys, I look forward to seeing and serving you very, very soon. It is time to elevate your mind. Take care.